Hello everybody and welcome. This is the Shy Hat and we're here doing HackerFrogs AfterSchool extra credit. Alright, so everybody, for this extra credit class we're going to be going over the Python basics room in the TryHackMe education platform. I'm going to leave that in the chat for everybody in case you don't have the link to that. So if you want to join along, please log into tryhackme.com and go to the following URL that I just pasted in the chat. So it's tryhackme.com/room/Python basics. All right, so this room over here at tryhackme.com has basically everything that we've learned about Python up until this point. If you've been following along with the HackerFrogs AfterSchool Python programming workshops. And what we need to do when we first get to this room is we need to click on the join button, the join room button. Let me leave the room first so I can demonstrate to you how to do that. So what you would do from tryhackme.com/r/rooms, this is the search page. You can search for Python. And, wait, we're going to go to learn and then search. Okay, so learn and then search. And then I'm going to search for that Python room again. So Python basics right over here. I'm going to click that. So everybody, this room over here is very convenient because it comes with its own Python interpreter here, which we can run through to complete the different exercises in the room. So the first thing you want to do upon landing on this web page here is to click on Join Room over here. So just click that, and now we're going to be able to answer the questions. So we've got this split view over here with the Python interpreter window and a few different tabs. We'll be using these different tabs in the different exercises while going through the room. So in service of time, we're going to skip over some of the reading bits over here. But first thing we need to do in task 1 is just click on the completed button over here. And then in task 2, we're tasked with completing the Hello World exercise. All right, so everybody from the classes, you can run the Hello World from the script.py tab over on this side of the page. If for some reason you don't see this this part over here, you can go back up to task 1 and click on the View Site button to make this part of the site appear. To exit out of here, you can click on this button over here that it says Exit Split View. Just click on that, and that's going to get rid of it. So, but if you want to get it back, you can click on View Site under task number 1, and you can get this back. All right, so let's complete the Hello World exercise. So we've done this before. All we need to do is use the print function, and they've even included the print function over here. We just need to modify the code over here so that it says Hello World. It's going to be very exact with exactly what you print. So you can just copy this with Control-C, and then in the editor, just highlight everything else and replace it with Control-V, which is paste. Okay, and then when you're ready, you'll want to click on the Run Code button over here. And then that completes the exercise and it prints out the flag for us. So the flag is this right here. We can copy it. We can highlight it, copy it, and then paste it in the answer field over here and click Submit. Okay, our answer is correct. We'll move on to task number 3, which is mathematical operators. Okay, so in the mathematical operators tab over here, we see, hold on, let me check something. Okay, so it looks like we just had to check on some stream stuff over there. So under task 3, mathematical operators, we see that we can use Python to solve a lot of different mathematical operations. Most of the symbols here are familiar to regular old people, except that star over here is what we use for multiplication. The slash is used for division. And the percentage sign is used for the modulus, which is division, which returns the remainder of a division operation. All right, so let me try. I'm still seeing some weird stuff from my streaming software, so I just need to make sure that okay, so that seems to work. I was seeing some strange connection issues with my stream, but all right. So what we need to do in this exercise is we need to solve some mathematical problems. So in the code editor, print the result of 21 plus 43. What is the flag? So basically, what we can do is just copy these. And for each one of these, we can just get rid of the string in the print function, and you can replace it with the mathematical operator. And when we run this, we're going to get our flag. So if we run this one, we see this flag right here. So we can copy it and provide it as the answer. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to see if it's possible to retrieve more than one flag at once. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and put this in here. And then we're going to do the next one, which is 10 times 342. And then the next one, which is the result of 5 squared. So that would be 5, and then double star, double asterisk, and then 2. So 5 exponentiated to the second power, which is squared. Okay, so let's try running this and see if we get all 3 of the results when we run this code here. So apparently we can only get one flag at a time. So we'll copy this one for subtraction. And then we'll delete the one for subtraction and run it again. And then we'll copy this one for multiplication. Okay, and for 5 squared, we just need to get rid of this over here and run the code one more time. Okay, so here, copy the flag and provide it as the answer, submit, and that's this task done. Okay, so that was mathematical operators. Everybody, if you finished task 3 and you're following along with us, please type task 3 done in the chat and give us some smileys, just so I know that everybody's following along. So for example, something like something like this. Okay, so that's task 3 finished. Now let's do variables and data types. So in this section, we just need to understand that Python categorizes its data types into a lot of different categories. So we need to know that in Python, this ice cream over here would be categorized as a string, and money, because this is a number without a decimal point, it's known as an integer. And so these are strings. These are examples of strings. So Star Wars, The Matrix, Indiana Jones. So just regular text is called strings. Floats are numbers with decimal points. So for example, 9.8, 8.5, 6.1. An integer is just a number without a decimal point, like 13, 23, 3. A Boolean is either a true or false, a true or false binary, which is basically either true or false. So Booleans are what we use to make decisions inside of computer programming, usually through an if statement. Okay, and a list is something called a collection of different items inside of one container. So lists can have strings inside them. Ilhan Idris, hello, nice to see you here. So lists can have either strings or numbers or combinations of both. So in the question portion of this task over here, we have our code editor, and we have to create a variable called height and set its initial value to 200. So let's do that. So height equals 200. And on a new line, add 50 to the height variable. So height equals height plus 50. And on another new line, print out the value of height. What is the flag that appears? So to get the flag, we need to print height. All right, so we run this code, and we get the updated value of height, which is 250, and we get the flag over here. Great. So Ilhan Idris, nice to see you here. Have you been working on your own Python code in your spare time? What are you doing for your cybersecurity education these days? All right, let's move on to, we need to click on completed for these, and we're going to move on to logical and Boolean operators. So logical and Boolean operators are basically equations to see if something meets a certain criteria. For example, is exactly equal to equivalence, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. With examples over here, we use these operators to determine what action to take inside the code at a specific junction. In addition, we can use these additional operators here, and, or, and not. So and means that both of the equations have to return true in order for the overall statement to be true, or means that either one of the statements to the left or right of the or operator have to be true to return true, and not means that the statement will only return true if the value is false. So over here we have a long set of Boolean operators over here. So we have Bob as a string and hungry equals to true. In this code, if the name is equal to Bob and hungry equals true, it's going to print Bob is hungry. Else if name equals Bob and not hungry, so hungry is set to false, then it's going to say Bob is not hungry. And if all other conditions are not met, print not sure who this is or if they are hungry. Alright, so we don't have to complete any exercises over here to get any flags, so we just press completed, and that's done. Okay, so we have a few more sections to work through over here. Next is the introduction to if statements with the shipping project. So if statements let programs make decisions. Basically, if you write code that has if statements, then you're able to branch off into what actions for the program to take from that point on. For example here, if age is less than 17, it's going to print you're not old enough to drive, or else it will print you're old enough to drive. Okay, so these all use if statements. And if statements require if, and then some sort of Boolean statement, and then the colon. So this is the kind of decision tree you can make with the if statements. So in this case, if the variable of age is less than 17, then this. But if it is not, then it is this. All right. So in this next exercise, what we need to do is we need to go to the shipping.py tab and follow the instructions there. So we'll click on that. All right, so shipping.py. So in this project, we're going to create a program that calculates the total of a customer's shopping basket, including shipping. If a customer spends over $100, they get free shipping. If a customer spends less than $100, the shipping cost is $1.20 per kilogram of the basket's weight. We're going to print the customer's total basket cost, including shipping, to complete the exercise. Okay, so what we can do here is we can click on the hint button, because the code here actually wants the variables to be named specific things in order to get the flag. So if we don't use the variables that they want, we're not going to get their flag. So we're going to press on this, and then we're going to copy this code over here. Because it's a bit small and a bit cramped inside of this code window, we're going to go to our online Python. We're going to go to the online Python website so we can work on it over there. All right, so here we've got shipping cost per kilogram equal to $1.20. Customer basket cost equal to this, and customer basket weight equal to this. So what we need to do is we just need to figure out, so if customer basket cost is greater than or equal to, so it should be 100 in this case, then it's going to print free shipping, or else shipping cost equals customer basket weight times shipping cost per kilogram. And in this case, customer basket cost equals X. Okay, so the basket cost is equal to the shipping cost Hold on, what do we want? So shipping cost. So it's going to be the shipping cost. The shipping cost is the customer basket weight times the shipping cost per kilogram. Weight is 44. Customer basket cost equals shipping cost plus customer basket weight plus customer basket cost. Okay, so let's copy this and copy it back into the window here. Okay, so the total basket cost including shipping is 90. I don't think this is the correct. So let's see, shipping cost is customer basket weight times shipping cost per kilogram, okay. So customer basket cost should equal shipping cost. And we need to add shipping cost plus, oh, Ilhander just says, so I can use Python to build antivirus software. Antivirus software, that's interesting. What do you mean by build antivirus software? Certainly you can use Python to build a bunch of different types of programs, but I'm wondering why you would choose to use Python to build an antivirus software as opposed to some other programming language. And how you would identify the viruses using Python. I suppose there might be a library that would help with that. Okay, so this is the flag we want right here. So what we were looking for was shipping cost plus customer basket cost. Sorry, I get a bit nervous when I'm trying to do coding live like this. Okay, so in shipping on line 12, change the customer basket cost variable to 101 and rerun the code. Okay, so we're going to, on line 12, customer basket cost variable to 101. Okay, so we do that, and then we get our flag over here. So Ilhan Idris, are you planning on trying to use Python to build an antivirus program as a project for yourself? Or is this, I'm wondering where you got the idea for this. Okay, so let's look at loops. So in programming, we can use two types of loops to run programming instructions over and over again. We can use either the for loop or the while loop. For my next project, maybe, have you done a lot of other projects inside of with Python for your own education? That is something that wasn't part of like an educational course. It just seems interesting. Well, I think that'd be very interesting to try to get at least the bare bones code to identify something like that. I suppose you'd have to look into your program would have to scan into files to see if there are specific signatures that viruses have in order to identify the virus and then decide what to do with it. So while loops are loops where while is the keyword, and to run a while loop you have to do the keyword while and then a certain condition. It's a Boolean condition that has to return true in order for the loop to run. The interesting thing about while loops is that you don't know how many times the while loop is going to run before it ends. So you have to make sure that there's some way to iterate the loop towards an ending condition inside of the loop. So over here it's I equals 1, while I is less than or equal to 10, it's going to print this. So while this is true, it's going to print. But once this is no longer true, then the while loop is going to stop. So if we would take this code over here, and we would go into script.py, and we run this, it's going to run this 10 times, but we're only going to see it until 9 because the counting starts from 0. Oh, it's less than or equal to 10. Okay, in this case it does count to 10. Sorry about that. All right. So to complete this exercise over here, we have to print the loop for I in range 5. Oh, no, this is not it. Okay, so the question is, in the code editor, we're going to click back onto script.py.tab and create a loop that outputs every number from 0 to 50. All right, so to do that, we could do it a couple of different ways, but let's do for I in range. So range is basically a function that creates a list that stops at the number that you specify. So in here, it's going to be 51 items. So 51 items is going to count from 0 to 50 because the counting starts from 0. All right, so if we were to run this, we need to specify some instructions here. And we need to print each one of these items over here. So for I in range 51, we're going to print I. Okay, so if we run this, we're going to get our flag, hopefully. Ilhan just says, because I remember one of my friends from college who used Python to build attacking tools, malware, that will spy the user's camera without realizing. That's very interesting. I wonder which libraries he used when he was building his Python program, or if he was using custom, or if he wrote his own libraries for that project. Okay, so we have our flag over here. Copy that and submit it. All right, and we have our next task, which is intro to functions. So functions are something that we can define in the program so that we can run them over and over again. So anytime we want to run a program, run a set of code more than once. We probably want to use a function so that we can do the same instructions again and again. It's not the same as running a loop. So say that we create this function over here, say hello, and all the function does is going to print a string, hello plus name, nice to meet you. In this case, we could run the function. It's called a function call with the parameters Ben, and the output would be hello Ben, nice to meet you. Okay, so whenever we create a function, we have to use the def keyword over here, def, and then the name of the function, and then a set of parentheses, and inside the parentheses, the name of any arguments that we would use with the function. Okay, in this case, we're going to create a function called calculate cost with an item as the argument. And here we go into an if statement. If the item is equal to sweets, it's going to return this value over here, so this number. Or else, if the item is equal to oranges, it's going to return this value over here. Or else, which is basically anything else, then it's going to return this number over here. All right, so additionally down here, there's going to be a variable called spent equals 10. So I guess that's $10. So spent equals spent plus calc cost sweets. So it's going to run this function over here. So spent is equal to whatever we've spent previously, and then the cost of the item, basically. And then it's going to print you have spent, and then the string equal to spent, which is the number. Okay. So the next couple of questions for this exercise are going to ask us to calculate some stuff for an imaginary Bitcoin project. So in this case, we have to go to bitcoin.py, and we're going to use it to calculate the value of the Bitcoin in USD and create an if statement to determine if the value falls below 330,000. If it does that, put a message to alert you. Okay, so we go to bitcoin.py, and what we need to do, because this is looking for this again is looking for a very specific variable names and function names. We're going to use the hint, and then we can copy this and then go to our online Python calculator. Sorry, it's not a calculator, it's a online Python IDE, in fact. Okay, so we're going to write a function to calculate Bitcoin to USD. And the interesting thing about this is that the arguments in here have to be something very specific. If we go back to the web page over here, make sure your Python function has the name Bitcoin to USD and uses the parameter names Bitcoin amount and Bitcoin value USD. So it's going to be Bitcoin amount. Actually, can I copy? Yeah, I can copy this. And we have to name the arguments in here specifically. Okay, and in this case, value is going to be equal to investment in Bitcoin times Bitcoin to USD. And it's going to return USD value. Okay, I think that's correct. Okay, and then we can copy this code back over here. And run the code. Oh, line 24. Okay, we need to set this for below 30,000. Okay, and then we get this flag right here, Bitcoin investor. Ilhan Idris, I'd like to ask you a question. You studied quite a bit of Python, I do believe, and you learned about the Django framework. I'm wondering if you have any suggestions for other websites to learn about Python, because you've probably used a few different websites to learn about it. Okay, so one Bitcoin is now worth $24,000 in the code editor. Update the Bitcoin to USD variable to $24,000 and see if the Python program recognizes that your investment is below the $30,000 threshold. Okay, we can do that. We're going to set it to 24. Okay, it does give us the warning message right here. Investment below 30,000 sell. Okay, great. Okay, so we have a couple more sections. So here, in Python, you can read and write from files. So this is actually something we haven't. Ilhan Idris says, I learned from Codecademy. Actually, I recommend using Codecademy as well. We'll talk a little bit more about Codecademy after we finish this room. But I'll ask Ilhan Idris, did you use the Codecademy course, which was specifically for Python 3? And if so, did you pay for your subscription for like a month to study that, or did you use the free trial to study that and finish the course within 7 days? Okay, so what we can do is we can open files inside of Python in the scripts. In fact, the syntax for that is very similar to this. So we're going to put this into script.py. So f equals open, and then specify the file name, and then and then in R, read mode over here. And then after we import the file using this syntax over here to make this variable the file, we can then use the method for files to read them or to write to them. And the question asks us to, in the code editor, write the Python code to read the flag.txt file. What is the flag in the file? So in this case, we could specify the file name as flag.txt. And then, so this method over here, f.read, is going to refer to flag.txt, basically read flag.txt. Run the file and wait the flag. Okay, right. Okay, they completed a few topics from that and that's it, and then switched to other websites to learn. Interesting. So I'm teaching this Python course right now to some students, and I'm using a combination of tryhackme.com and then learnpython.org, which is a free platform for learning about Python. It has a bunch of different topics, but the problem is that it's there's a lot of, because it's free, there's a lot of ads that pop up all over the place when you're trying to use the website. There's a lot though. Yeah, definitely. Between Try Hack Me and LearnPython.org and Codecademy, you could probably there are a lot of other websites where you can learn Python as well. But I prefer the websites where you can actually type code into the into some interactive Python fields and see the results in real time while you're learning. All right, so the last section we have here is for imports. So basically, what you can do inside of Python is you can import functions and variables from other libraries or modules. For example, you see here we import datetime, and then after we import this module datetime, we can use any of the functions or modules or the functions or the variables or the methods from the classes inside of this module. So for example here, let's see if we can actually do this inside of this right here. So we can import datetime and then current time equals datetime.datetime.now. Okay, so this would be using a method from the datetime module, and then we would print that. Let's try running the code. So this actually does get the current time, for me anyways, from using the module right here. So importing is a very important thing to learn when you're working with Python, because otherwise you would have to write all of the code yourself, which is not what people like to do. People like to use libraries and modules to save time and effort. But yeah, that's it for this room over here. Click on completed, and we finished the room. All right, so let's before we finish off, let's introduce what Codecademy is. So Codecademy right here is a very interesting website for learning a lot of different programming topics. Let me log in. Let's see. I have to get my password and username from my password manager. Just a second. Codecademy. Okay, this is my username, and this is my password. Oh, I need to use a email, I guess. Okay, let's try that one. Okay, so let's just try. So the interesting thing about Codecademy is that although the Python 3 course is a paid course, there is a free course on Python 2. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that Python 2 is not the current version of Python, but there are a lot of things you can learn about Python 2 that are equally applicable to Python 3. But let's see, we're looking for Python 2. Okay, so this is a free course over here, Learn Python 2. It's free because Python 2 is no longer supported. But right now we're going to start this course and do a little bit of it, just to show how the Codecademy learning environment, what it looks like. Okay, so the interesting thing here is that these are very hand-holdy exercises over here. So over here, it's asking us to use do the Hello World exercise. All right, so we have to use a print statement using it to output a message of your choosing to the terminal. Okay, so this is the terminal over here, and we can use this one just like any other terminal. So print, and the interesting thing that we notice right away is that Python 2 uses print as a keyword instead of a function. So we would use print and then whatever arguments we want. So whatever variables or strings we want over here. Let me restart my music, hold on. And I like this song. Okay, great. Okay, so print anything and anywhere. Well, you know what an interesting thing is about Python 2, Ilhan? Is that Python 2 is still used a lot in the cybersecurity world. Actually, it's still used in a lot of applications because a lot of people wrote programs using Python 2, and those projects were never updated to Python 3 when Python 3 became the normal thing to use. And so those Python projects remain inside of Python 2 because nobody bothered rewriting them for Python 3. In fact, let's ask our good friend ChatGPT. Oh, I need to log into ChatGPT. Hold on. ChatGPT. Okay, so this is the email address I use for ChatGPT, and this is the password. So, Ilhan, which branch of cybersecurity are you most interested in learning about? Just out of curiosity, are you more interested in pen testing or in digital forensics or something else? All right, so if we ask ChatGPT, what major cyber security programs were written in Python 2 but never updated to Python version 3? So one thing that I encountered recently was the volatility framework over here. So volatility framework is a memory forensics program that lets you penetration testing. Okay. So in penetration testing, you're going to run across a lot of scripts that were written in Python 2, and you're going to have to understand Python 2 like syntax in order to use them, because those scripts aren't necessarily going to run properly if you try to run them in Python 3. But yeah, if you were to do like digital forensics, volatility is one program that was written inside of Python 2 and was very useful for memory forensics. Unfortunately, the Python 3 version of the volatility framework is not nearly as useful as the Python 2 version because they haven't updated everything from Python 2 to Python 3 for this particular program. And there are a bunch of other programs out there that are written in Python 2 that were never updated. So sometimes you have to know a little bit about Python 2 to get along with some old Python scripts and programs. So if you wanted to print something like this over here, this is the syntax over here. You don't use the brackets. Actually, you can use the brackets if you really wanted to. Okay, but it also prints if you don't include the brackets. So let's just change this to anything and everywhere. So interesting. Ilhan Idris, you were interested in learning penetration testing. Were you thinking more of network penetration testing or web app penetration testing? Because the training is different. depending on which route you want to take, because network penetration testing is less in demand than web app. Web app, it's a lot easier to get jobs if you want to concentrate on web apps. So in this next section over here, I'll try Python 2 after this stream. Well, it's if you want to learn Python 2, you can use the Codecademy course, and it's probably a great starting off point. But you can also use ChatGPT to understand what the major differences are between Python 2 and Python 3. So if you were to ask, it'll give you examples like in Python 2, hello world is like this. In Python 3, you have to do it with the brackets. So integer division, you have to do it. Okay. So 2 integers is going to return an integer and not output the decimal. But in Python 3, that's weird. The other interesting thing about Python 3 is that how it handles strings and how it handles bytes. So a lot of people, so you might want to ask this. So in Python 3, how is hexadecimal? How are hexadecimal strings displayed? How are? Okay, I think I want to ask you how are bytes displayed? So specifically in Python 3, if you want to print out bytes, you have to prepend your string with this B over here. That really gets in the way if you want to print out, if you just want to print out bytes, it's a lot easier to do it inside of Python 2. So that's why for reverse engineering and binary exploitation, students like to use scripts in Python 2 to do that instead of Python 3. All right, so one thing before I go, so we're going to end off the stream pretty soon, but before I go, to Idris Elham, our good friend, I would suggest Portswigger Academy to learn about web app hacking, and I'll leave this link in the chat. Oh, hold on. I need to... So if you're interested in web app hacking, this is this website over here, Portswigger Academy, is definitely where you want to go to start learning, because they have a lot of different topics and interactive labs to work through. And the great thing about this is it's all free. So if you want to learn about this stuff, you don't need to sign up. Well, you do need to sign up, and you do probably need to learn how to use Burp Suite, which is a web app proxy. So a web app proxy program, which you use to do web app hacking. So definitely look into it if you're interested in doing penetration testing. It's not so good if you want to learn network penetration testing only, but web app, well, everybody interacts with web apps, even if you're doing network penetration testing, just so you know. All right, so everybody, that's the end of today's stream. We've worked through our Python basics room inside of TryHackMe. So to everybody who doesn't know, I have a YouTube channel at The Shy Hat, and I'll also leave this. I'll leave this in the chat for everybody to see. So here I have my HackerFrogs videos, which are videos you can follow along with to learn different hacking topics. We've got web app hacking, which is our green series. We have Python programming, which is our blue series of videos, and we have Linux OS operations, which is our red series of videos. But to everybody, and when do you stream next time? So Ilhan, we do streams every Monday and Wednesday. Every Monday we do HackerFrogs AfterSchool, and next Monday we're going to be finishing off our Python series, where we're going to be looking at dictionaries inside of Python and importing modules in Python. And on Wednesday we're probably going to do a free topic. We're probably going to do something like a Try Hack Me room. We're going to do a walkthrough for a Try Hack Me room. Please look forward to that. If you want to participate in the HackerFrogs community, we have a Reddit, which is reddit.com/r/HackerFrogs. So I think it's Reddit, just like that. So if you want, please go to the Reddit and comment on some posts over there. If you have any questions, that's a good place to ask. I'll usually try to answer questions in the Reddit as soon as I can. But we'll be back on Monday. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm gonna, so everybody in chat, leave some hearts in the chat. Because it's Valentine's Day. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. But until next week on Monday, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.